Oh, hello, great readers. I'm Belchan.
I'm Nimikung.
I'm Banchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you. Chap. 16 sec. Of Jane Eyre, an autobiography.
As.
Ah.
Jane Eyre, an autobiography. Charlotte Brontë. Chap. 16 sec. 1. I both wished and feared to see Mr. Rochester on the day which followed this. Sleepless night. I wanted to hear his voice again, yet feared to meet his eye. During the early part of the morning, I momentarily expected his coming. He was not in the frequent habit of entering the schoolroom, but he did step in for a few minutes sometimes, and I had the impression that he was sure to visit it that day. But the morning passed just as usual. Nothing happened to interrupt the quiet course of Atlas studies. Only soon after breakfast, I heard some bustle in the neighbourhood of Mr. Rochester's chamber. Mice, Fairfax's voice, and Lee's, and the cook's, that is, John's wifey, and even John's own gruff tones. To be hoped he will not take cold with sleeping on the library sofa, and see. To much confabulation succeeded a sound of scrubbing and sitting to rights. And when I passed the room, in going downstairs to dinner, I saw through the open door that all was again restored to complete order. Only the bed was stripped of its hangings. Lee stood up in the window seat, rubbing the panes of glass dimmed with smoke. I was about to address her, for I wished to know what account had been given of the affair. But, on advancing, they sighed, and sewing wings to new curtains. That woman was no other than Grace Poole. There she's at, staid and taciturn looking, as usual, in her brown stiff gown, her check apron, white handkerchief, and cap. She was intent on her work, in which her whole thoughts seemed absorbed. On her hard forehead, and in her commonplace features, the countenance of a woman who had attempted murder, and whose intended victim had followed her last night to her lair, and, as I believed, charged her with the crime she wished to perpetrate. I was amazed, confounded. She looked up, while I still gazed at her. No start, no increase or failure of clevitrate emotion, consciousness of guilt, or fear of detection. She said good morning, Miss, in her usual phlegmatic and brief manner, and taking up another ring and more tape, went on with her sewing. I will put her to some test, thought I. Good morning, Grace, I said. Has anything happened here? Only Master had been reading in his bed last night. He fell asleep with his candle lit, and the curtains got on fire. But, fortunately, he awoke before the bedclothes or the woodwork caught. A strange affair, I said, in a low voice. Then, looking at her fixedly, did Mr. Rochester wake nobody? She again raised her eyes to me, and this time there was something of consciousness in their expression. She seemed to examine me warily. Then she answered, "The servants sleep so far off. You know, that they would not be likely to hear. Mice. Fairfax's room and yours are the nearest to matters. But Mice Fairfax said she heard nothing when people get elderly, often sleep heavy. She paused and then added indifference, but still in a marked and significant tone. But you are young, miss. And I should say a light sleeper, I did said I my. So that Lee, he was still polishing the panes. Now hear me, and at first I thought it was Pilot cannot. Laugh, and I am certain I heard a laugh, no needle for love. Thread waxed the carefully hand, and then observed, with perfect composure, laugh, I should think, miss, when he was in such danger. I was not dreaming, I said with some warmth provoked me. Again she looked at me, conscious eye. Have you told master that you heard a laugh? She inquired. Not think of. Open your door and looking out into the gallery, she further asked. She appeared to be course questioning me, attempting to draw from me information unawares. The idea struck me that if she discovered I knew or suspected her guilt, she would be playing of some of her malignant pranks on me. It advisable to be on my guard. On the contrary, said I, fiend. She wants to know my habits. Again prevailed over prudence, I replied sharply. Fasten the bolt. I did not think it necessary. Any danger or annoyance was to be dreaded at Thornfield Hall. Why so to do was her. And sir, I know it was a house, the Blake Closet, as is well known. And you see, large house there are very few servants, much, and wages come being a bachelor waiting on, but I always think it best to on the safe side. A door is soon fastened, drawer and bolt between one, and any mischief that may be about. People misfire. For trusting all to Providence will not dispense with the means, used discreetly. And here she closed her harangue, a long one for her, and uttered with the demureness of a Quaker's, appeared to me her miraculous self-possession a most inscrutable hypocrisy. When the cook entered, my spool, said she, addressing Grace, ready, no, a tray just a morsel and a taste of cheese, it at present I shall be coming down before tea time. Turned to me, saying that my Fairfax was waiting for me. I departed. I hardly heard Mice Fairfax's account of the curtain conflagration during dinner, Grace pull and questioning why she had not been given into custody that morning, or at the very least dismissed from her master's service, much as declared his conviction over criminality last night, him from accusing her. Why had he enjoined me too to secrecy? It was strange. A bold vindictive in the power of one of the meanest of his dependents, her power that even when she lifted her hand against his life, dared not openly charge her with the attempt, much less punish her for it. Had Grace been young and handsome, tenderer feelings than prudence or fear influenced Mr. Rochester in her behalf, but hard favourite and matronly as she was, the idea could not be admitted. Yet, I reflected, she has been young once with her masters. Wes Fairfax told me once, many years. I don't think she can ever have been pretty, but for aught I know, for the want of personal advantages, Mr. decided and eccentric. Grace is eccentric at least. Him into her power, and she now exercises over his actions a secret influence, the result of his own indiscretion, which he cannot shake off, dare not disregard, ought having reached this point of conjecture, Mice to be continued.